Okay, we here. We're back. And one viewer.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
This is
Guess
sick.
who's back?
This
I
is
know you
sick.
like that.
Mm-hmm. 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 Like, comment, subscribe. Okay. Join the conversation on my YouTube channel. Those of y'all that's on Facebook watching right now. If you commenting on Facebook, I cannot see you. I can't see your comments, but I appreciate you pulling up. We here, we back for episode number
Dose
two. Two.
two. Yeah.
A safe place. How you feeling?
I'm feeling safe.
How was your week? It's been 2 weeks since we've been back. It's 2 weeks, right? We
Yeah.
going on 2 weeks. How you been?
I've been good. I've been good. What
Mhm.
about you?
I mean, I'm a little full right now.
Full of what?
Like my balls. Like, you look good in these tights. Why would never mind. Anyway, I would like to clap cheeks tonight. Let's just put it out there. Somebody, let's say what's up to the Swerve. What up, my boy?
What's
You remember
up?
Swerve? We met him at in Ohio. All right. Today we're gonna be talking about. You know what we're talking about?
Parenting.
The effects of parenting. How we grew up, right? And in contrast to how we raised our kids, how the way that we was raised, the way we grew up, the things that was instilled in us are, as far as lifestyle choices, whether it's discipline, habits, good habits and bad habits, and how that has affected us and how we parent our kids. Um, Me personally, I like to whoop ass. Wop, wop, wop. You know what I mean? Gradually from the pluck, you know what I'm saying, to the pop, you know what I'm saying, to the hand, to the belt. Now, I've never went to the extreme as the extension cord, which was laid on me. I only had to experience that one time. You know what I'm saying? And I was lucky because I was a baby boy. My mama took it easy on me. By the time she got to me, she was tired. She had beat the shit out of them girls. You know what I'm saying? By the time she got to me, I lucked up.
I find it funny that you so pro belt, but whenever you have the opportunity to whip our daughter,
No. See, that's a different thing. That's different. You don't want me to put a belt out on her.
you be chicking it out.
Nah, dog. She got to get me there. The one
You
time,
be chicking it
can you
out.
tell the story then? Tell the story.
She had been showing off at school for a while. The one day he get to her, he like, you show off again? I'm gonna whip your ass. I'm gonna get my belt out. I'm gonna whip your ass. Show off again. Let you come home and your mother tell me you showed off. I will whip you in her face. Then she get the next. I think it may have happened like the next day.
Next day. It was next day.
Next day, she went to school. She showed her ass. I was like, in the whole ride in the car. Oh, you know what your dad said? It's going down. Like, I can't. She was crying tears in the back seat, getting prepared.
Let me take it from here. I get the call. I'm at work.
No, you was not at work.
I was at work. I came home on my lunch break.
No, you was in the bed.
That time.
You was in the bed.
Okay.
I came home. He in the bed, knocked out.
I was asleep.
I said, go in your room and wait. She in her room. She crying. She hyperventilating, all that shit. I go in the room. I wake up. I said, Jay, she showed off again. You're like, she did?
I wasn't ready. I was sleeping.
So
I was asleep.
And he like, tell her, come here. She go in there. She got tears on her face. And he like, bring me your tablet. I'm in the back looking like,
who beat her?
I had to.
Now.
Then you got me out here whipping her, and I wasn't
Tell her about the time I put that work in, though. Tell her about the second time I put that work in, because I wasn't ready. Cause first of all, I hadn't, up until this point, I had never really like popped her before or spanked her before, right? So it was a little, you know what I mean, some uncomfortability there, because I didn't know how I was going to carry it with her. Because I know how I do with my boys. I'll fuck them up. Like, you know what I'm saying? No hesitation. I put work in these streets. My boys, they know. So I'm kind of nervous if I don't know if I really want to go as I don't know if she gonna be able to, you know what I mean, understand how, you know what I mean, once she see this happening, when she see me putting in work, I don't know how she gonna respond to it. She may feel like I'm going too hard. So I'm kind of nervous, and I'm nervous because I'm like, I don't really want to release this beast because I'll whoop ass. What the fuck? That's just what I do. So she calls me at work, right? Second time, call me at work. Now I'm like, all right, I'm up. I'm ready to get out of me. I'm on the way home. I'm planning this out. I'm like, all right, I got the script in my head, what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Everything. How I'm gonna grab her, turn her, you know, y'all know the arm in the air, twist to make you turn around. Wop, wop, wop. 3 of them. Pop, pop, pop. I mean, Kendrick shit. Up.
He gave her 3 little skippity pats.
I didn't even hit her 3 times. That one time.
He gave her 1 little skippity pat, and she was about smiling 2 minutes. She, I don't know though. She be acting like a no limit soldier.
Listen. Do you remember the conversation that was had prior? Because I was hyped. I was ready to go. And I was like, you acting up at school today? She was like, yeah. And she said something else. And it made sense. I forgot what had happened, but it made sense. I understood what happened. I'm like, so I just gave her 1 pow. And she just took it like a G. And I was like, now go to eat your dinner.
God.
She took it like a G. And right, so on the way back to work, I'm looking at this. Hey, sis. I'm looking at. I'm on the way back to work. I'm discouraged. I'm like, I lost my touch. I normally, you know what I mean. I normally young normally break them down. She ain't even drop a tear. Like it was nothing. She ain't holler. She ain't scream. She ain't jump around or nothing. I'm like, damn, I'm not the nigga I used to be. And then I realized something, that my sons were some hoes. My sons were some hoes. Kasim, Kyrie, y'all some hoe ass niggas, dog. Y'all niggas was getting, listen, I gave her a lot. I almost hurt myself with that 1 swipe. And y'all niggas used to be bitching before I even get to y'all niggas. And y'all niggas, this 5-year-old took it like a G.
She looked him in the eyes like, are we done here?
She took it like a G. I'm like, what the? All right. I gotta come up with something else then. This ain't what it used. This ain't what it's supposed to be. But me personally, that right there, just going into what we talking about, that right there is how I came up. Like my mom, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't get a lot of beatings because you know what I mean, I was the baby. But that's what it was. You fuck up enough times, or if I gotta, you know, it's going to end in a whooping, depending on the situation. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? How about you?
I mean, I didn't get many whoopings. I would consider myself a good child.
Oh God!
But I did get froggies.
Oh, listen. Let's bring in the
I
guest.
did used to get froggies.
Let's bring in the guest.
You want me to give you a froggy? That's when you stick your knuckle out like this. You make sure your knuckle is pointed out. That's what my mother used to do to me. And you take it and you do like this, and then you jab right in the arm, and it would make a bubble right here. It's called a froggy.
Okay, we got 2 guests in the background. I'm bringing back my niece. These are both my nieces. My big niece and my little niece. we got Nika back on.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah. We're not who the big niece and who the little niece.
I said, what happened?
I said, who the big niece and who
Well, you older than me,
We
so
not
you're
doing
the
the old
60s.
niece and the
You're
young
older
niece.
than me, you're
We,
the 60s.
okay.
Hey, and we got T, Tamika, Mrs. Banks. We are here. Y'all hear me talking, but before we get started, I want to shout out everybody in the comments. Shout out to T. Melissa, what's going on?
Hey.
Money related, I see you. E-Rock, my boy, you already know. Jay Liddy, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? E-Rock said, sons do be soft as fuck. Them little niggas be soft. Them little niggas be soft. Talent, what's going on, my boy? We here. Hey.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Before we start, Jay used to cry way before the belt even came out of the closet. So if we putting whole ass niggas in the category, like father, like son type shit.
I was acting though. I was acting.
Yo.
I had to do my thing. I had to start rolling around and crying. I would get real hysterical. My
Jay
mother
was
was like, you know what?
a nigga that cheated.
I feel that.
Before that belt came out. No, mom, please. I swear to God, I ain't gonna do it.
You do. You have to cry before you actually get hit. You got to start it early. You do. You got to start early.
Facts. Soon as it start getting crazy, soon as they start like every parent has that sign. Like they give you a sign. It's like I'm about to get a whooping. It's about to get serious. What was it?
Right.
Y'all remember any signs that your parents may have gave you, mom or dad may have gave you, where you knew a whooping was about to happen?
My mother had a stare.
Huh?
My mother had a stare.
Let's see it, cause you look like your mother.
I can't.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Hold on.
Oh,
He was like,
you gotta channel it. Hold on. Do it again.
Yeah.
And you just be like this. You try not to look at it. You be like, look to the side and be like, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Right.
When we leave here, I'm
The
getting
calm
fucked
before
up.
the storm.
Right.
This is happening for me.
Right.
But Stevie gave her story of y'all ever see the Froggy?
No, I've never seen that before. I ain't never seen that one. That's new.
We used to do that when we was kids, though. We used to do that to each other when we was kids. You know what I mean? With the knuckle and the arm, and
yeah.
it move. It'll like move down your arm a little bit. So, but like for my mom to say that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Okay.
That's kind of crazy. Y'all have any? Go
You
ahead.
be kind of young, so they probably was calling the cops. You know how kids started making cases.
Nah.
I'm calling CPS.
I got one beaten once, and that's I don't remember it. My mom said she walked in the door, and I was literally standing there with a fork to a socket.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was 2 seconds away from unaliving myself. So
is that a whooping?
She whipped my ass, but I don't never remember it.
Okay.
Give me a whooping. Give me y'all best whooping story.
That you got a whipping?
Got a whooping or got somebody else a whooping? That happens too.
Yeah, that happens too. You definitely get somebody else a whooping.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I get a lot of siblings, so we've definitely had instances where we cost each other whooping or getting a whooping, but we really didn't get. It wasn't that much. It really wasn't that much. Like I could count on one hand how many times I got a whooping as a kid. But we always knew when it happened, like it was serious. Like we always knew where it was building up to. I remember one time I was with my cousins and we made a huge mess. The adults had gone somewhere. They had gone out. So we were at home with an older cousin and we thought, I don't know why we thought this was okay, but we ended up like making like mud pies and stuff in like the tub. And like
I brought dirt from the outside.
Because where the house was like all this sand and stuff. So we ended up like bringing that in the house for whatever reason. But many of us with responsible people either, like responsible adults. So when they got back, they were and we all got a beating. And then we had to get in the tub. It was like a whole thing. it was like a drawn out thing. Like it felt like it was like taking forever for it to be over. Because it was like we constantly had to clean it up. We had to get a beating. We had to get in the shower. We had to get another beating. Like they was hollering. It was just a whole.
They said, we thought about it. You need another. I need y'all asking
It was warranted. It was warranted.
It was warranted. It was a huge mess. And that's why when I think about it today, I'm like, I don't really know what we were thinking was going to happen after. I don't know what we thought the aftermath would be.
Yo.
but we did it.
Thought they was going to come in and like, oh, these are nice mud pies in the dog.
It was like stuff like from the kitchen too. Like it was crazy. It was ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Like,
damn.
but I will say I was the youngest in that group. I was the youngest at that time. So I was just following the older kids.
Yeah, you was following them and they got you a whooping.
They got me a whooping, right? I feel like they got me a whooping that day.
How about you, Nika?
Yes.
How about you, Nika? We
Um,
got some stories. Me and Nika got some stories now. I know Nika got some stories.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know because I don't.
For those of y'all
want
that
to go to
don't
her
know,
house.
me
They
and
gonna
Nika
end up
actually
arresting
grew up in
her.
the same house together.
Uh-huh.
For a majority. So I was saying, give us some context on our relationship. Nika and I kind of grew up in the same house together for off and on, but mainly on through our childhood. Nika got some, we got some stories.
So that what's so funny? Your mother, like my grandmother, never hit me like that. I can only remember one time, and that was like a pop on the butt to go down the hallway and call it a day.
Never
But
got
other than
spanked?
that, never. My grandmother never spanked me ever. So Verna was doing all the spanking. Not to put her name in. My mother was doing all the spanking. But I remember one time we lived in. Speaking of causing someone to get a spanking as well, we lived in Yonkers at the time, and me and my little brother, and so we was running around one day, and I don't know what happened. I ended up stepping on the glass. It was a glass table. It was a wooden table with glass corners, and I ended up trying to get away from him because we was always roughhousing and
That
stuff.
was in the house?
Yes, in the house. And I tried to get away from him, and I stepped on a glass corner, and it broke the glass, right?
Like shattered the whole glass?
It shattered the whole, I looked at this shit like, it's about to be on in this house. I'm like, she about to fuck me up. Especially because it was something about me being the first and me being the girl. Because I feel like she babied him a little bit, but not too much, because she was still busting both of her. It was a weird, I don't know. But me being the first, I knew better. So I feel like I got heavy. I feel like I was the heavy receiver from the hits or whatever. But long story short, I had this shit for like 2 months. No lie. She did not notice that one missing glass piece on the table. So
and Dante never told?
Huh?
Dante never told?
My brother never told. My brother always had my back.
Period.
And he always cried when I got whoopings. Yes, he would be crying. But anyway, she didn't notice for like 2 months straight. Like I swear it felt like forever. So I'm like,
forgot about it.
Notice the table thing missing. I don't know what it was. Maybe a bad day at work. She looked down like, where's the glass to the table? Where's the glass to the table? And I'm like, so we looking for it like idiots, because I'm looking for that motherfucker. I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking under the couch. I'm looking all over the fucking place for this glass shit. I'm like, I don't know. Like, my brother rolled out. She kept asking, where is the glass table? I'm like, we don't know. I don't know.
Now, was this over a time span? Was it, or this is like in that moment, she's saying to you, like, somebody better find my...
This is in that moment. This is that one day. After the 2 months I done hid this glass piece, she come home and realized there's a missing glass on the damn table. So finally, I feel so bad for my brother. Like, finally, she was like, where's it? He lied to her because she was asking him. And he was like, I don't know. And she was like, who broke it? And he was like, I don't know. At the end of the day, she beat both our ass. She beat us. For me, for breaking the motherfucker, she probably knew it was my ass.
Right.
But for him lying, like,
Right.
oh, you really
She
gonna
probably
lie
thought it might have
out?
been. She probably thought it was probably him running around or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But
No, because we did enough. We had broke the. We was always in there by ourselves, fucking up. We had broke the cabinet, and this time he did take the blame. He was like, she was like, "Who broke my cabinet door?" Again, we roughhousing, and I pulled the cabinet door and it snaps in half. That's my luck, right? So yeah. Long story short, she asked him, and he was like, "Oh, I did it," and she was like, "Stay off my counter," and that was that.
oh, you remember that? You remember that because you know
I
that
remember
was
that. We was fucking that apartment up. We fucked that place up.
All right, before we get into the heavy shit, let's have some fun real quick. Right. So I got a video that I'm gonna show you with a couple clips of some kids.
God.
And we y'all in the comments. We want y'all to get involved with this as well. Those of y'all that's over there on my Facebook, please come join my YouTube. Come to my YouTube to join the conversation. My YouTube channel, Run on Juice Banks. Come on over here and join the conversation. All right, so where is it at? Okay, I got it over here. All right, so it's 3. Okay, it's 3 of them. Okay, so it's 3 of them. And
why do you become a surgeon? And what we do is really hard. Where did you learn to work?
He's really going.
You got it, Eva? You got it though? Yeah. Eva, are you okay? What's going on there? It's okay. It's okay. Tell me what you. First time all day I felt good.
in this moment, right there, is that what we calling it? Who's that called? Smash and pass? Is that a whooping? To whoop or not to whoop? Is that a spank?
I wouldn't whip for that.
You wouldn't?
No.
I would probably pluck hands. You getting
That's
mad?
what I was thinking.
You getting mad hand plucks? Like
I'm gonna sting the shit out of your hands.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sting your hands up. I'm gonna sting your hands up. She knew better.
Got that, all of
She
that.
knew better.
She definitely knew better. She knew better. She knew she didn't go
She knew better because she kept looking at the door.
Right. And as soon as she heard her, she was like,
looking at that door.
she knew exactly what she did.
I gotta whoop ass because why you being sneaky? That's a fact. I gotta whoop ass. Why you being
Period. Why
you the one that's gonna be looking crazy.
Looking at this damn door.
Right.
I think it's more to it than that. Like, all right, you doing too much, but like the fact that you knew better, I think that's when the whooping for me comes into play. I'm spanking at this point. She's getting her ass beat for that one. I'm gonna give her that work.
Right.
I'm gonna give her ass beat for that one.
Her hands definitely will be hurting. I'll sting her hands up.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pop hands for that for sure.
Next one.
Well, let me tell you this.
Oh, God.
My name ain't Linda. So you sit right there and time out, little bad little girl.
Well, let me say something.
No,
If
don't tell me.
I wasn't here, I would surely take a day off from you and then a day off from these kids. I'm not in the classroom. I'm just done with you.
I'm done with you too, but you in time out.
Oh, let me tell you something, honey. This is not rude.
You're gonna be in time out.
Oh,
That's why you in time out right
I'm
now.
sick still.
I think so.
Well, when I get up out of town and go to bed, I will be glad to go home and enjoy the rest of my life.
Listen.
Tired.
Go to get a nap, okay?
You get this video. You get this video sent to your phone from the daycare. Is that
I'd be
it?
like, well, what, Miss Linda, why is she in timeout and everybody else playing around and stuff like that? I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't trust these daycare workers.
Nah,
I'm like, I got to hear her side of the story.
You know,
Her side.
well, we didn't side. She done said everything she needed to say.
I know, right? She don't even need her mama to. She done told Linda ass off.
Okay. You listen, honey. She said, you listen.
And she be done for the rest of her life.
For me. I wouldn't. If that was me, I would. That's not a spank for me, but I
No.
would tell her that she needs to start addressing adults properly. That's not the proper way.
Well, that's she might need a spanking because her all of that mouth, you don't get spankings, which is why you don't know how to address adults in authority.
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't found the proper way to parent her, and I'm not here to be like because I don't believe in like spanking for certain things, like being outspoken or like doing things like that. But that was downright rude. Like she has a lot of mouth, and that needs to be addressed. And I don't know. I would be at a loss. I would really be at a loss because, like, again, I wouldn't want to spank her because she is outspoken and she does. It sounds like she does a very good job advocating for herself, but she has to do it politely. And I don't know. She got to find a way to speak.
I'm a first grade
Picking
teacher.
her up with the belt around my neck.
She ready to go? She ready to go?
I'm a teacher, and I wish somebody child would talk to me like that.
Listen, right?
Because it's
You
like
want that energy? You want that energy?
if you give me your recess, and I'm calling your mother,
Yeah.
and you getting in school suspension. Get on that day and having lunch detention. You getting all the whammies.
Right.
I feel that. I feel like I was one of those kids though that was always pulled outside and yanked up outside and put in the classroom hallway. She needed to say that. She said what she said, and she didn't say that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on at the schools nowadays, but yeah. And why are you recording? And what's going on? I got a lot of questions.
Believe that this girl is talking like this.
My child don't normally talk like that to nobody. So if she felt like she needed to check you, I don't.
Nika's riding with her baby for
I'm riding with my baby with the peaches, baby. Because I've been there and done that and worked there and done that and yeah.
Oh man. All right,
Linda,
last
she
one.
said what she said.
Last one. All right.
Stacey, stop it! No! I'm whipping his ass. Sit down.
The ringleader is foul-mouthed 4-year-old Reese.
It's just like a wild child gone wrong. It's terrible. Throwing things at me.
Stop it!
Swearing directly at me.
You're rude!
He's Tara's biggest challenge, and trying to control him is a constant battle.
Stop it. It's embarrassing.
But Reese is only the start of her problems. Shannon.
Oh.
That requires a belt. That will require a belt.
I'm going to jail.
Straight up.
I'm going to jail
If you
because
can call somebody when to call.
I am going to jail.
The first thing in mind is I'm dragging him. I'm dragging you, boo. You want to fight like? Look what I look. Yeah.
No, that requires a belt, and she is playing games with that little boy. She's playing games. Playing games. He's beating on her too.
Yeah, it's to a point where at that point he needs a different type of discipline.
Yeah. He needs physical intervention. At this point, it gets physical. Right. You're not going to be beating on me.
Okay. When I was young, my mother would have poured raw rice on the floor and made us kneel for hours.
I've seen that on the movie.
This is the Dominican man. This is he comes from a Dominican household. They don't play.
That's what I said. That's
Gotta
that.
be
Okay, that's that out of the country.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to do that to lighten the mood up before we get into some of the. Well, it's not really heavy, but more the serious talk. More so diving into or transitioning into how we was raised. You know, we share some of our stories and things that we went through and witnessed, and from our childhood to how we parent our kids now. I know Nika has an older son, 19-year-old. Tamika has a whole Farrell now.
He'll be 10 in May.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a 21-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a new addition that I is new and is 5 years old. So I have a big gap there.
Right.
And Toya, my ex-wife used to always say, each kid is different. You can't do him like you do. Nah. And I never believed it until now. You know what I'm saying? For me, again, I grew up, no nonsense, showing respect to my elders, knowing my place, how the saying goes, know a child, stay in the child's place. You know what I'm saying? Minding my business. But if I acted out or it came crazy, my mother wouldn't hesitate to let them hands go. And that's how I parented my older kids. My older boys was like drop of a hat. It's the hands is going. But I've been a lot more patient with this one, with my daughter, my 5-year-old. And even from the beginning of the stories, it's like people told me, you can't just be hitting no girls. It's different when you got a daughter. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I'm going to whoop ass, and I definitely see the difference now. But through my growth and my maturity, I understand now that everything don't require, a spanking or whatever the case may be. But I do believe in spankings, and I'm pro spanking. But there is a generation now, or new style of parenting now, where they call it
gentle parenting.
What is that?
It's where, gentle parenting has gotten a bad rap because a lot of people mix up gentle parenting for permissive parenting.
What's the difference?
Permissive parenting is kind of just like making excuses for a lot of the stuff your children do, and kind of like, just kind of overlooking it and thinking it like it's just being their personality.
You mean dismissive?
Permissive.
Oh, okay.
Permissive. It's like, oh, that's just them. That's just how little Timmy is. That's just his personality. He's very eccentric. And, they just try to chuck it off. But gentle parenting is supposed to be like, you use logic and reasoning and guiding your children, so that they can make those decisions on their own and not just out of fear. And so I'm a little bit of both. I think I have a mix of both.
Yeah. I'm gonna speak on that. That was new for me in some situations where I felt like let them hands go. It was more of her explaining and breaking down the situation and why that's unacceptable, and whatever the case may be. Whereas, again, I come from now, I come from. So, but Tamika, you spoke on, you kind of, I don't want to assume, what approach do you have, or how has parents, the way you raised changed how you parented or affect how you parented and how you parent now? And some things you do take from how you was raised and things that you feel as though you're not doing no more. You're not going to react to him.
Right. I feel like the way I definitely parent somewhere in the middle, somewhere in between gentle parenting, but I wouldn't call what I do gentle parenting because I don't believe in I think there are times where you may have to get a little physical, not outright beating or outright, a spanking or something like that. But I do think sometimes it's okay for you to be touched, just to be like, to kind of like shock you into the zone, you know. I would say I definitely do differently than my parents. Is I feel like I try to get to the bottom of whatever it is, and then I've only had one or two instances maybe where when he was in school where a teacher had to come to me and talk to me about what he was doing, and it was like, not that it was, I guess it was just annoying for her because he was encouraging other kids to do. He was like fighting and stuff and encouraging the other boys to do that. And for a moment, I was like, I wanted to be in total defense. My first instinct was to be in a defense for him. But then I was like, he's definitely doing that. Like I know him enough to know that he was doing what she said he was doing, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to fight. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. So I just, instead of going in defense for him, I just listened to what she said, and then I addressed him about it. And I feel like had I done it the way that my parents would have done it, I would have been in total like, well, what were they doing to him? You know, like I would have probably gone into defense mode. But I would say that I do that differently, like I said, to where I try to think more into it. And then if he is causing a problem, even at home, it requires a conversation for me before it goes straight into like, you know, I like to get to the bottom of whatever the issue is. Because I don't think kids just act out sometimes just to be acting out. A lot of times it's just about like what they need to express. So I do believe in that. Not to say that it's always that, but a lot of times you can figure out, like with a short conversation, you can kind of figure out what it is that they're feeling and why they're acting that way, you know? And I think that's what we've done differently. Again, there has been times where he's definitely gotten popped, or his dad will definitely grab him up and like, you know, what's going on.
I don't say Dante's a popper.
No, Dante's the grabber.
I definitely see a yoke from him.
Yeah, Dante's a yoker for sure. He's a yoker for sure. When he was 3 years old, that was the first time, and Dante will never let me live it down. I pulled his pants down to pop him on his butt. And Pharaoh, it had no effect. It had no effect at all. So that's when I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, it's pointless. Like, it doesn't make a difference. It had no effect on him at all. So after that, I was just like, well, that's just not the kid he is. It doesn't make a difference. So that's when I knew, like, that's not the way to have any sort of impact on him. Because he was just like, it kind of made him want to like just stone me out. Like he didn't want to deal with it, you know? And that was just his approach. So I was like, well, that's not effective. But I don't think every kid is like that.
Yeah, I have some pushback on that because when you mentioned like trying to like gauge their feelings and all that, like, I don't know. It's just for me, if you wrong, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, let me say this. In what situation do you use that method of what you were saying about as far as like, you know, trying to find out what they was feeling in that moment or whatever the case may be?
There's always
hold on, we got some feedback.
Thinking about it, or I wasn't thinking that, you know, like even with the little girl who cut her hair, I wouldn't be here because I'd have been like, why, you know, like first of all, you know your hair's gonna look crazy.
Perfect.
Like, this is the result of your so the result of what you did is that you're gonna be walking around looking crazy. And that's not gonna make me feel any type of way. But if you care about how you look, then you may feel a type of way that you look crazy like that. And that'll be your business. But that was the effect of the action that you took for doing something that you knew you shouldn't have done.
Natural consequences.
Right, natural consequences. Living, you have to live in that now. You have to decide that you have to be and Farrell knows this, I say this all the time. You have to make better decisions. You have to make decisions that make sense for you.
Now, I cut my hair when I was a kid with scissors, and I got
my mom used to do
and I had to wear that haircut to school.
That's what I'm right. See, you had to wear it to school. I don't think there was I wouldn't get physical with her because I don't think that would have an effect other than just her remembering that she got a beating for it, rather than like, because I think sometimes when we go to beating or we go to getting a whooping, it skips the moment of like what you're supposed to get out, like the learning part of it. I think we can go real quick. My sister cut her hair when she was probably, because I'm right behind her. She was probably in the 3rd grade. I was in the 2nd grade. And I remember she cut her hair and it was a huge thing. Like they made such a big deal about it. And I was just like, I just feel like she's the one who got to walk around looking crazy. Like she's the one who has to look silly. Now, should she have done it? Absolutely not. Did she know better? She absolutely did.
I think that's why the whooping came into effect for me and probably for your sister, is because you knew better.
Yeah.
But what is a whooping? Right. But why get physical? Why can't they live with their consequence?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like I had an incident when I was little, and me and my cousins got to fighting. We were arguing about something, and we got to fighting at my grandma's house, and he literally knocked 2 of my teeth out. And when my mom came and picked me up, she hit on me as well. But I was like, she
hit on you?
Because she didn't like that we was fighting at my grandma's house.
Okay.
But I was like, the natural consequence is 2 of my teeth are knocked out. Like I'm already hurt. Why do you have to hurt me even more? Right. And that's how I feel like sometimes parents don't realize, like you running around, you fall down, you scrape your face. I've been telling you not to run around, but now I'm going to beat you because you was running around. I told you not to. My face is already scraped up. That's the natural consequence. So I feel like sometimes parents have to realize the natural consequence is enough.
Exactly. And I feel like you have to learn from those experiences. You have to learn, because then once you start the whooping, it becomes, oh, I got a whooping. Like that's what you remember about it, is that you got the whooping. You don't remember. Yeah, you don't remember why you did or what was going on or even making a better choice. You don't know. You don't take anything from it, but the fact that I got a whooping for it.
Yeah, me and Nika kind of grew up the same, and our story pretty similar. Nika, please give us some give us your take on as far as how your upbringing as far as discipline wise affected how you parented. That's Tamika. I gotta meet you, Tamika, because I'm getting some feedback from you.
Oh,
no, you good. You good.
Okay.
Ahead,
so I feel like it's a deeper thing, and when I say deep is it's more level, it's layers to it, right? The way I disciplined my son was kind of similar to the way my mom disciplined me, but not as intense, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's because I feel like I went that, not because it was learned behavior for me. It was because, I don't know, I always say like I was in like survival mode during that time anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that has a lot of effects on a lot of parents and how they parent. Okay. You going through, especially as a single mother. I can only speak for a single mom, right? And not to say, props to his dad. His dad was in his life, like you already know the story. So I don't want to say single mother. I don't want to discredit him. So anyway, single mother, right? There's certain things that
hold on. Single mother meaning as like not with the father. Not that the father is absent, but not with the father, not in a 2-parent home.
Right. Okay. So there's a certain, so now you're in survival mode. You're trying to keep your household together and you're trying to take care of your kid. Thank God I only had one, but that still was a lot for me. That was more than me just taking care of yourself. And you're dealing with school. You're dealing with these programs they want to be in. You're dealing with so many things. And all you ask for your child to do is please behave, bro.
Behave yourself.
Please behave, my nigga. I need you to hold me down and behave because I got a lot on my plate. You know what I'm saying? And it sometimes it's just not financial. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I got to run around here and do this. You already got the guilt of you not spending time with them because you're doing so much. Maybe you got one job that has all your hours. Maybe you got 2 jobs to keep afloat. Maybe the dad really ain't involved. You know what I'm saying? And you know better. You knew better than to cut your hair. And now I got to come home and see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got home. I want to decompress. You know what I'm saying? I got to check your homework. I got to make
sure whole left side is missing. Your whole left side is cut the fuck off.
Period. And now I gotta figure out what bobos to fucking get that catches your little bald spot on the side. This shit's stressful. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit's stressful. Now I'm paying $80 to get your hair braided because you bald on one end.
Kids don't think about that type of
That's
stuff.
money. I don't think. No, and I totally get that, and that's why I said a lot of us, we did it, and we apologized. I told my son, you can vent. In 21, you're gonna have to move on, but vent about it, get over it, and wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't parent like that.
But can we do that though?
There's a lot,
But can we tell them? Do we have the right to tell them that to get over it?
No,
isn't that unfair to say, yo, you gotta get over that?
No. I'm talking to him like I've always been real with B. You know what I mean? It's so funny because he has a sign on his door. He has a sign in his room right now that says, nobody cares. Keep going. Okay? That shit is real. Not saying nobody cares. Not saying don't go to therapy. Not saying that I had a lot of apologies that I had to make to him. And I felt like I made him early. Because I took accountability for how I was raising him. And even though I felt like I didn't go as hard as the way I was brought up, I just felt like he wasn't that bad of a kid for me to go that route. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a very smart, intelligent child. You know what I mean? And that goes back to the school shit, right? There's a lot of times I got a lot of phone calls. There's a lot of times that aggression came from, okay, you got 8 hours to go to school and do what I asked you to do. That's it. I don't ask you to do nothing at the house. I don't ask you to take out the trash. I don't ask, because some Black women are real lenient when it comes to their sons, right? I ain't asked you to take out no trash. I didn't ask you to do none of that. Go to school and just do what you got to do. And I get it. You're young. You don't realize you want to have fun, whatever the case may be. And we're not thinking about that as parents. And unfortunately, we're not. You know what I'm saying? So when I get those phone calls, I'm like, why is she calling me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she calling me? You know what I mean? So a lot of frustration just came from the outside. And unfortunately, I don't want to say we unleash it on our kids, but we expect so much of them. And maybe we shouldn't expect that much, but we do. That when I'm not around you, please act as if I taught you and I installed in you. And when you don't do that and you let me down, I get frustrated. And sometimes I get aggressive. And no, that's not good. And like I said, I mean, my apologies, like, you know what? You are a good kid. You was always a good kid. I just
One second. Let's understand. I'm gonna give more context. When she says aggressive, she's not punching her son in the face and shit like that. Like,
no.
Like it's not no type of child abuse. But as far as like the stern voice, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have used the word aggressive.
No. You good because that's what it is. It's aggression.
That is aggression.
It's aggression.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, but I don't want people to think, oh, she must be beating the shit out of him. No. That's not the case at all. And so
you can count on one hand how many times I spanked them, but there's times, that I spanked them one time. There's times it's not even spankings. There's times I'm like, motherfucker, what the fuck? And I'm talking to him like he my nigga, and he needs to get off his ass. Type shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, listen, when it ain't me here, it's gonna just be you. It's gonna just be you, and I want you to be able to hold yourself down and conduct yourself in the order that you need to conduct yourself. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody, like that sign says, who cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Get over it and move on. That's how the world's gonna see that. That's how the world's gonna view you.
Yeah, my mother was similar. Like, she was very aggressive as I was growing up. And I try to be the opposite for my daughter because I felt like if I just talk to her and explain to her, mommy has a toothache right now. I don't feel good. And there are some things that you're doing that is making mommy upset because I have a toothache. Once I start doing that, I realize she get a lot more than what she understands. Okay, I'm gonna go in my room. I'm gonna try my best not to be too loud. Why are you looking at me like that?
I tell her things like that. She'll listen to me. I say I don't feel good or my stomach hurting. She continues to jump on my stomach.
That's
You the dad, she
something
gonna try to
y'all
put
started when
over.
she was little. You allow her to jump
Okay.
on your stomach like a trampoline.
Like, yo, my stomach hurts. Does it? Well, never mind. Carry on. I just don't like if it works for you.
But I realized like once I started to like explain on a level that she can understand, the communication, like it helps me not to be able to lash out and be so aggressive towards her, because then I also have to remember like she is a child, she is only 5, and if I just be a little bit more open with her, and that teaches her, what is the word that I'm looking for? Empathy. She's starting to learn empathy at such a young age.
I want T to chime in here. We have you on mute. T, what's your thoughts on what you've been hearing?
Yeah, I feel the same way, like Stevie was saying, but I totally understand the other side of it being, being a more aggressive parent. And like I said, I don't think that I'm not even fully against, I think a lot of the times we just have to know our own children, and we have to know what it is that they can handle and what they can't, and like how and I'm huge on that. Like, your kid. Like, and if you don't know your kid, that's a problem. But you know what your kid can handle, you know what he's capable of, and you know how far to take it. That's your child, and you know what they're capable of. I know that my son he's very empathetic. Like, he feels for everyone. He's very understanding, but he's also a good communicator. So I know that he can communicate to me a lot of the things about or why he did what he did or what he was thinking, and usually we can come to an understanding because he started communicating very early. He's very good at advocating for himself and saying what he likes and what he doesn't like, even sometimes unwarranted, how he feels about something and how he doesn't feel about it. And if there is, and he understands acceptable and unacceptable behavior. He understands that very well. So typically, that's why I say a lot of the times, as long as I think a huge part of that is not knowing our kids, and I think being raised like the way that I was raised with a lot of siblings, I think that was something where my parents kind of, as we got older, I think they knew who we were as our personalities grew. But when you even kind of like what Nika was saying, so I think sometimes when you're in survival mode, you have a lot of people, you have a lot of kids, you have a lot going on. You don't have time to like decipher every kid and decipher every little thing that's going on.
Have you ever been in that place?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in that place
where I've been frustrated?
No, as far as what she was talking about, as far as that
survival
mode, and kind of like trying not to project that energy onto him.
Well, I think I'm always aware of that. Like, anything that we've ever gone through or ever any type of hardship, I'm always I feel like I'm always very cognizant of how it's going to affect him and how I'm moving around him. Because one thing I don't want to do is to raise him where he's in situations, because I know he is very empathetic. I don't ever want him to feel his childhood is filled with a bunch of adult problems or adult emotions and adult issues. Like, he should be able to be a kid no matter what's going on. And the awesome part about the kid that he is, he anytime we came from out of the country, we had an issue at the airport, which caused a 24-hour issue. And this kid held up so well. He gave us no issues. He didn't cry. He didn't whine. He did nothing that was like, that made anybody, like, he was trying to be the best he could be. And he really did. He stepped up and he was the best he could be. And again, this was it turned into a whole 24-hour thing where he had gotten no sleep. He was up. We were going back and forth trying to figure stuff out. We were back and forth, just trying to get our stuff together. And he was an awesome kid. And we made sure he knew that, like, what you did was awesome and you are an awesome kid for it. And again, I think it was just us knowing that he would, and I really didn't expect any less from him, because I know that he's very understanding and he understands certain things. And like Stevie was saying, I think our kids understand a lot more than we think they do. Especially when you have a conversation and you sit and you're talking to them. Kids understand a lot. They get a lot.
I want to ask y'all this last question, then we're gonna go on to something else and we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna start with Nika. And hearing you talk, Nika, what got you to this place?
What do
This
you mean?
growth, this understanding, and knowing that, okay, that was wrong. What got you here?
I feel like what got me here was I think there's a point in time where you meet different people and you realize that what am I stuck on? Why am I sitting here feeling some type of way?
Coming from how we came up.
When
like,
I got, or I'm involved with, or it could be, your man, or it could be your significant other, or it could be your girls or whatever. But you meet people of different backgrounds and you realize that the spoiled milk that you're crying over ain't as serious as what you thought it was. You know what I mean?
Give me that story. Give me that situation where you knew from somebody else, hearing somebody else's story, man, what the fuck am I doing?
I would say the last situation I was with, or whatever the case may be, in his childhood, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's to the point where they're still, as a family, are very disconnected. You know what I mean? Moms don't talk to him for this reason. He don't, and he's still at an old age, and it still bothers him, and it is actually holding him back from a lot of shit. Just dwelling on shit that his mom could have did better. You know what I mean? Or, her favoritism with the sister, and the brother, something going on with the brother, with the other father. Like, and I'm just like, damn. And I'm sitting here feeling like, okay, because my grandmother had me in church every goddamn Sunday. I feel like, what you crying for, girl? Like, you know what I mean? And also, I feel like the growth being around my mother and seeing my mother's relationship with my son is always shows me that specific point in her life, she just had a hard time as a mother, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to hold nothing against that lady, because everything that she felt like she didn't do with me, she put all into my son. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it always takes a village, but listen, my mother was everything to him, and I appreciate her for that. And it just makes me realize, like, you know what? It just was that time. It just wasn't a good time. You know what I mean? And I don't take it personal. Maybe it affects my life, but I try not to keeping me stuck, because I'm only hurting myself by doing that. Mm-hmm. Right? Everybody done moved on. Nobody cared. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. I appreciate it, and I learned how to have accountability, because my son is awesome, and he has so many avenues in life and everything where people were there for me, and us just being there for him was there for me, and I appreciate it. So ain't no sense in dwelling on nothing.
That's fire.
That's how I feel. Yeah,
that's well said. Tamika, same question. Growing up, getting whoopings for the mud pie in the bathtub, and getting haircuts and getting whoopings, and to how did you get to this place to where you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah. Well, I had a lot of resentment from my parents because of what they were going through. But they had a drug problem that eventually caused us to be, kind of dispersed. And I had a lot of resentment for them for a long time, and the way that they parented, and just the way that I felt like, if you have known anybody who had a drug problem, they can become kind of absent, and they become kind of, drawn into themselves, because,
you can speak on that.
Addiction, absolutely. Addiction. So I had a lot of resentment for them up until as an adult. I was in my adult life, and Dante was the one that was kind of like, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to just be upset with them forever? Or are you going to, you should do something about it, because they were people at the end of the day, and they have their own, whatever they went through it, but they're still people. And it doesn't, they have their own stuff that I can't understand. They're not perfect. They weren't perfect. People go through things, and people are our family. They're our parents. They're our sisters. They're our aunts. But at the end of the day, they're still people. you know? So, and that's when I decided, you know what? I don't, because I would feel better. It would make me feel better if I established that relationship again and got close with them again. And I did. And I love that I did. And I mean, it was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made, was to just let go of all of that hurt and whatever came with that, but Dante was he was the catalyst of that, because I was good with just being angry and being resentful, and because in my mind it didn't affect me, but it absolutely did.
So what did you not want for Pharaoh?
I didn't want him to ever feel like there was nobody there to listen to him, or that there was no one there for him to express himself, or to have, as a child, have adult responsibilities, or, to just feel as though he was that he's not allowed to be a kid. He's not allowed to be himself, or he, again, have to worry about things that kids should have to worry about, like what they're going to eat, like simple things. Like I'm so big on it does. It affects my parenting to today, because he'll ask me for something. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. He should be able to have access to, whatever food he wants, if he wants it, because I didn't, or if he gets hungry. Dante hates this. If he gets hungry too late, and I'll make him something to eat, like simple little things. But those are definitely things that, if I were to put put a pin in it, I could pinpoint why I do those things. And it definitely had to do with the way that I was raised, and being or not being able to be vocal about the fact that you might have been hungry, or not being able to say, like, I feel this way, because who cares? They got their own thing going on. You don't matter right now. You have to go handle these things, because
Well said. Well said. Well, I'm gonna start with you first. Then I'm gonna give mine.
For me, I guess it was more so I did a lot of adult things at such an early age. I had to be an adult and grow up a lot faster than I wish I had to.
Right.
So my take when I had my own daughter was to just allow her to be the space to be a kid. Because, looking back, some of the things that I may have been exposed to, or, were made to do, even staying in the house alone at 8 years old, being responsible for other children at such a young age, or, just a lot of other things that I was exposed to that made me have to grow up. I just, made sure that this is not what I want for my daughter.
Is that why we got to do Elf on the Shelf? Why we have to do all these things, these kiddie things?
Because I want her to enjoy being a child. Because sooner or later, I had that taken from me at such a young age, where I feel like that, I didn't want that from her.
I respect that. So, and Elf on the Shelf, those of y'all who know, it's a real thing. Elf on the Shelf, you got to hide this elf every night, put him in new positions, and you got to be over here doing
We got lucky this year.
We got lucky. She was scared to death of this motherfucker. Listen, she wouldn't eat for like 3 days.
It was more than 3 days. She wasn't eating for a week.
Yeah, like it was crazy.
She was so stressed out that she was throwing up.
Yeah,
crying.
It was crazy. But I lucked out. I mean,
they moved on.
I know, but I hate to say I lucked out, but anyway. But I'm gonna give my for me, my well, and I had to give my oldest son some perspective, and kind of similar to you, Nika, with the talk that you had with your son. Kyrie, he's 21, but I had to kind of let him know how I was raised and how I came and how he came when I came into his life, because he's by way of my first marriage. I was in his life when he was 2. He was 21 now, and similar situation to Sion, came in her life when she was 2. And she's 5 now. We can, I'm probably going to adopt her, legally. But I had to let him know that I'm sorry, but I was 22 years old, man, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I was just going off of what my father, whenever he would come around, would instill or what he would carry it with me, which is pure fear, like from the rip. I'm not what? I got a whooping because my sister rode my bike. And it was because he told me nobody is allowed to ride this bike, right? So I'm thinking, all right, nobody in the neighborhood could ride my bike. You know, y'all know how this shit go back in the day. Yo, let me ride your bike. I can't on the bike. Nah, I can't ride my bike. But this is my sister. She want to ride my bike. Let her ride my bike. No, I got a whooping for that. So it was very intense with him all the time. I was always on edge around him when I was younger. And it kind of kept me in line because I've always, but that was just that was me. You feel what I'm saying? So I kind of led with that with my boys, and it worked early on. You know what I'm saying? Until me and my son, when he hit 15, he had a he had a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, what we doing here? And that caused a strain in our relationship for a couple years because of that. So we just recently talked about it, right? He was about 15. We just recently talked about it, probably a couple months ago. And I apologized to him and, whatever. I told him what I was feeling and whatever, all that stuff. But anyway, for my sons, and for me, I want them to get the guidance that I didn't have from a man, from a father, from a person who walked through life as a black man and dealt with shit or went through shit and didn't reciprocate that to me, didn't show me the way. Like, yo, my nigga, hey, son, over here. Don't go that way. Come over here. So I'm trailblazing. Like these footprints that I'm setting out, this is all new. This is all mine. So everything that I'm getting hit with, nobody told me that don't go over there. It's real over there. So I'm going through that and I'm getting hit with that. So I wish I had somebody to tell me, don't do that. Go this way. File your taxes. Leave this alone. Leave that alone. Don't do that. When you're dealing with these women, this is how you carry it. When you're dealing with men, this is how you carry it. You feel what I'm saying? So that was, I work now and talking to them now about life shit. And the conversation has changed with us, between my sons and myself from, as far as, hey, get good grades, to now it's like, yo, you chasing a dream or you doing this and you doing that. I'm giving them advice on how to navigate that while still trying to live. And while you're chasing your dream, look to the left, look to the right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure this ain't happening before you take that step. And I would say for me that is my what was effects for me as far as parenting and what I didn't get. My mother, you about to go out and rabbit hole. You might want to. You okay? You want to ride out? I'm gonna wrap it up without you. You okay? You gonna finish it up? But my mother, shout out to my mom. I love her to death. My mother was in Nika's situation with 7 children, with 6 of her own and a granddaughter. So she was in survival mode. So, and I say this, and me and my sisters talked about this or whatever, and how my mother, she took care of us and made sure we had everything we needed. But she sacrificed being able to walk us and show us and guide us through certain shit because she had to work. She couldn't spend that time that she I'm sure she would love to do for us. You know what I'm saying? But she had to make sure, because this is how she was brought up. We got food, shelter, and clothes. You know what I'm saying? From the rip. So And I get what Stevie's saying, as far as, all of y'all saying about, us wanting our children to, not feel what we felt or whatever the case may be. So I guess I'm a soft parent now. Like my boys could call me and, I'm like, you ain't getting that shit. And I call your mom, listen, get that for them. Get that for them boys. Make sure they got that shit. You know what I'm saying? But, it's funny how we have grown and matured as people and parents. And it's just dope. It's just dope. And I'm proud of y'all. And I'm proud of you. And thoughts real quick, and then we're gonna move to the last segment. I'm gonna go ahead, Nika.
Just real thoughts or just
just thoughts real quick on what we're talking about, and then we're gonna move on.
Okay.
If you have any.
Yeah, my thoughts are this. Shout out to the single parents, whether you're a mother or a father. Always have a support system. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Let that ego shit go. Let that ego shit go. Don't be afraid to ask for help with the kids or kid. And you're doing the best that you can with what you have. Keep grinding, keep moving forward. You got this. Period.
All right, Tamika.
Oh, yeah. I would just say, we should all, our goals when it comes to raising our kids, it should always be to do better than the way that we were raised. And, when my kids raise their kids, they're going to figure out how to do it better than I did. And I think that's all we can do is just do our best and do what, do. As long as we're doing better than our parents, we're doing okay. As long as we're not repeating cycles and things like that, and we're aware of what we're doing, I think we're okay. I think, all the parents, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. A lot of the times I've seen it recently in my own life, people who have kids that become adults and they're really frantic parents, and then their kids turn out to be these awesome people in the world, And so I always take from that, don't be so hard on yourself. Again, as long as you're doing better than what your parent did, or you learned something from the way you were parented, then your chances are your kid's going to be okay. So I would just encourage anyone to just take a step back if you're stressed about being a parent, because it's not, you're literally raising people to be out in the world. It's not going to be an easy thing to do. Like, you want them to be like self-sufficient, functioning people in the world, But again, as long as you can look back and you can think like, okay, I'm doing this better, or I'm doing something different, chances are you're doing all right.
How about you? Before we move on. Okay. All right. My last thing, we're going to lighten the mood, have some fun before we get out of here. I just have one question. Why ain't these kids outside playing no more?
Oh my God.
Outside? Outside used to be outside.
Shout out to the Wii. Shout out to PlayStation for raising them. No, I was just joking. When I needed my screen, you held me down. Nah.
Cause you came up.
Yeah, them motherfuckers.
I think Kyrie's 21. I think his age group, 2003 babies, may have been the last. 2003, 2005 may have been the last of the babies that was outside. Like, for real though.
Don't worry, they're gonna catch up by 18 to 25. Them YNs is outside.
Yeah,
they outside and they need to be in.
My baby wanted to go outside, but I
definitely a different generation.
I'm too lazy. Like, I gotta go outside and supervise her. I can't just leave her. And
where the kids at though?
The kids, they out.
My mother never took me outside.
No, the kids.
It's a ghost town.
The kids be outside, but these days you gotta watch your child, because kids are exposed to too much. They know too much. They do too much.
Yeah.
And so you gotta keep an eye on your child.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I don't want to sit outside with you while I watch you play with your friends.
Right. That's so true. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad. It's a different time. It's a different world, different generation. Yeah.
And that's what Melissa's saying.
Yup.
Congrats on your doctorate, sis. It's a different generation. I get it, but
I definitely agree.
what do you think caused that change?
Technology.
Society is crazy. It's crazy out here. Do you really want your children outside at this point?
Yes.
I feel like sometimes it is the technology. I'm a little bit like Stevie at this point. Usually we don't have a problem getting him outside. He'd go outside, but I think since we've been back, we haven't pushed it. We haven't even we kind of just been letting him chill. But I feel like he does need to go back outside. But again, he is typically a social kid. Like we were in a whole nother country and he found friends. And he didn't even speak English. So everywhere he goes, he can find friends, but I think it also is easy for him to hang out
to come outside.
Huh?
Remember that? I'm asking T, has anybody ever came to the door and asked him to come outside?
Our house, wherever we are, we always have kids that come to our door because that's how good of a stranger friend maker Farrell is. We're always the house that the kids come to. So I never had to be the person to have to go outside and watch my kid because usually the kids be somewhere around my house. Wherever we are typically. So, and I'm always cool with that. Like, okay, whatever, because it does make it easier because because they're always just around you. I don't like him to go to other people's house and then it just so happens they'll come to mine. So, which makes it cool. But I think it is easy. And we just implemented again where he's not allowed to be on his tablet during the week. But it is so easy for you just to be like, go watch your tablet, or here's the iPad, or here's the thing. It's technology makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that's
yes. Zion is. I'm one of the parents. You think, Nika?
I said I can't talk. That's true too, because this dude is a genius when it comes to technology. And there's times that he be zoned out in that room with that technology, and I'd be like, I hate to say this, I'd be like, thank God. Okay. Yeah, I was that parent.
Yeah, Melissa is it's safer at home.
100%. 100%. 100%. I hate to say that. 100%.
I think it's the lack of, I don't know. Because when I was outside, it was dozens of us. You know what I'm saying? We out there deep.
That was the generation.
We out there deep. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I get.
We didn't have all this stuff. We didn't have all this stuff.
We had games.
We didn't have games. Huh?
We had Nintendo. We had Sega Genesis.
We had Nintendo. Yeah, we wasn't interested though. Like we weren't.
We played it. We played it without. We played it, but I'm gonna tell you. Keep it real. We played it, but we couldn't have company. So it's like,
right.
I gotta go outside and play for real.
Right.
You gonna play football? You gonna play Madden and
because if she didn't know your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, you wasn't coming in our house.
Yeah. So what it is honestly, I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's the internet.
Yeah.
The fact that they could be at home and play with their friends, and now they have the games where they can team up in 4s and 8s, and they can play these games from their home.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Me, I'm just old school. I just know how much fun I had outside playing. I know how much I love to play. How much I love to play box ball. And we got 6 people in here right now. 6 people in here right now. If you over the age of 30, what was your favorite childhood outside game? Mine was box ball. It's crazy. What did y'all play, Tamika? I know you from the country. You from out back in them. You from the back. I'm sorry. I got you muted. Hold on. Go ahead.
No, I have to be honest though. I was the kid that my parents had to say go outside. I was a bit of a princess. I was a princess. I did not like I didn't like sweating. I didn't and everybody used to tell me that. Tamika, come on, you could be the princess. All you have to do is that was their line to get me outside. They used to have to tell me you have to go outside. Go outside. I wanted to be in the house playing with my dog, doing somebody's hair. I did not want to be outside.
You play house?
I don't play house.
You be the dad, you be the son.
Yeah,
cook dinner with
house. We did play house.
Yeah, my favorite game was always freeze tag.
We were blessed. Freeze tag.
Yeah, I love freeze tag. And we would play and we would have a base. And like if you was on the base, you couldn't get tagged. And then you would have to wait.
The base was lit.
And then you would have to wait for your friends to come and tag you and then, to unfreeze you.
Yeah. But today, I don't know what these kids got going on today, but it is what it is.
We lived in the neighborhood. You could do anything: baseball, soccer. We was in a lit neighborhood.
We did everything.
We
played
everything. House in that apartment was. We was lit back in the day.
Yeah.
Shout out to my neighborhood, Lake Street, the Valley.
Shout out to Lake Street.
Was lit.
Listen, no, she a Valley baby. She's from Woodcrest, but she a Vally baby.
You didn't want to stay inside. There was no way. We was in the dirt. We was in the dirt. We was playing Red Rover, Red
Rover.
In
the snow. We played in the rain.
Basketball, snow.
We played in all weather conditions, baby.
Hell.
I was an outside kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was different. It was different because all the adults looked out for all the children. So
no, that's fact.
Parents knew
that may be their problem.
Parents knew that your child was safe.
That's
now
a fact.
we live in a generation where you can't say nothing to my child. And if you say something to them, I'm coming in there and slapping you. And they just want to mind their business. Or people so quick to call the cops instead of going outside and just scolding these children.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Because you don't know who you're dealing with nowadays. You right. I think you may have said some real shit. That's some real shit.
And then you go outside and scold little Jimmy, and Jimmy may come and throw rocks at your window.
Jimmy,
so you just don't know.
Jimmy may come back with a switch. Nowadays
he coming.
I'm not telling nobody grown child nothing. You don't
Jimmy
know
come back with a switch. Jimmy 15 with a switch.
So it's like
I'm telling you,
generation. Like I knew better. If my friend mom came outside and told us, we knew like we got right.
Get out that grass.
And you need to get the hell out of that grass as soon as possible.
Didn't I tell y'all watch out for those cars?
Yeah.
Like don't make y'all stay on the sidewalk if y'all can't watch out for the cars.
If you wasn't allowed to cross that street, you wasn't allowed to cross that street. And you didn't cross the street because you knew. My mother worked a lot, but Nika know there was people in that building when we grew up at who knew my mom, who had the green light to whatever from Miss Tribble, Miss Garcia, Miss Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what it was. Like it's happening for you. It's out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The community is out here. Everybody looked out for everybody. All the it was
and
definitely
that's what we need, that community. That's what it's all about. That's what we need. Community.
I think that's what it is. I definitely agree with it. I definitely agree with that.
You gotta play it safe. And unfortunately, playing it safe may keeping your kids inside, depending on where you live at.
Honestly though, man, we gotta go. We about to go on. We're gonna be here for another hour. We're gonna be here for another hour because I'm about to get into what the real cause is of why these kids is acting how they acting. It's because of this fucking music that they're listening to. You feel what I'm saying?
Sound like a papa.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
They listen to that old rap.
They listen to that drill shit. So all these little niggas is worried about kills and laying a nigga down and spinning a block and all that type of shit. 15 years old, come on, man.
What was Biggie talking about? I just said that. What Biggie Smalls was talking about, bro?
Same shit.
He was not talking about spinning the block.
He wasn't talking about going outside playing Red Rover. These niggas
don't you talk about Red Rover. Don't you talk about Red Rover. Red Rover was my shit too.
Yeah. These niggas wasn't talking about nothing. Please.
Don't do that, yo. But it was more so of the dancing. We glorified the hustler.
That's
Glorified
what. That's the difference.
But
And
it
a few
wasn't.
differences, it was a balance. Like you had a Biggie, but then you had a De La Soul, or you had,
Yeah,
it was a balance. They don't have no balance now. It's
yeah,
all trap, hood,
yeah.
gangster music. Like there is no, there's a little Kendrick Lamar sprinkled in
You
there
can
somewhere.
get it to, you can be able to get a little Busta Rhymes. Put your hands on my eyes to see.
Right.
Or some
There was
party
something.
fun stuff. Yeah.
Right, there was
You know what I'm
something
saying?
fun. Even with the female rap, it was a balance. You had your Kims and your Foxies, but you also had your MC Light, and you had your.
Hey, this is gonna be our next conversation.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on Foxy. Nika and Foxy. Don't get me started. Listen, this is gonna be our next conversation in a couple weeks. Music. That's gonna be our next conversation. The effectiveness in music and kind of what we grew up on and talked about. I think that's a dope conversation to get into. My homie BA said, Banks, you ain't got nothing to do. Keep the conversation going. Nah, man, we out of here, man. It's Friday night. We great. I've been drinking.
Everybody go outside.
But I appreciate y'all for tapping in. To Nika, my big niece and my little niece. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have some fun here today. I know we got a little kind of heavy on the heavy side, but somebody gonna take something from this conversation. I feel like there was some good gems that dropped. Nika said some real shit. T, you said some real shit. So be on the lookout for my reels. My reels gonna be popping. I got some good content in here today. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you
guys again for having me. I appreciate it.
For sure. We're gonna see. Oh, Nika, can you clarify? I'm sorry, real quick before I let you go. Nika, can you clarify the moving? Because last episode it was a big thing about you moving a nigga in off the date.
Get the fuck out of here. Who wants to clarify? I said what I said.
And she's standing on that.
And I stand on it. Nah, what they say?
Was it fresh? Was it like, hey, you can come live with me? Well, I think that's what they thinking. They thinking that, hey, I like you, you like me. Let's meet up. Matter of fact, come live with me.
No, it wasn't like that. I didn't move him in until like 3 months later. Type of time. So
time. It is what it is.
3 months.
Stand on business, yeah?
It be like that. It be like that.
Hey, if you know, you know. But yeah, we out of here. Nika, I appreciate you. Nika, T, I appreciate you. Hopefully you'll be able to tap back in with us, T. I think Nika is a part of the show now. Nika's a part of this show now.
Don't say that.
Nika's part of this show now. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. We're gonna wrap it up here.
Stevie, they didn't formally introduce us, but I'm Tamika.
I didn't.
No.
I don't think they ever met.
I did too.
We went around when Stevie came in. We weren't around. But it's nice.
Oh, you didn't. Oh,
I've not met Stevie.
Oh shit! He's hiding this one. He don't want us to get to him.
You know, right. I was saying, listen, I was not gonna jump on her.
Jesus. When y'all came, me and her was still kind of new.
Right, I remember hearing about her.
Y'all was at Claire's house.
Right.
And y'all right after that.
And we were in New York, right?
Y'all was moving.
Yeah, we were moving.
Y'all was out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that was. But yeah.
We'll get together.
You'll see her. She
right,
outside. She outside.
All right, guys. Join us again. Have a weekend.
All
right. Bye, guys.
Appreciate you.
Love you guys.
Nice to see you, Dr. T.
Appreciate you.
See ya.
All right. All right, those of y'all that tapped in, I appreciate you. Melissa, thank you. Thank you. Those who know, this is different from my normal content, my wave content. We on some other shit now. Wave content is done. We talking, let's have some real conversations with a little bit of fun here and there. Every 2 weeks. We're not locking in every week yet. We're gonna do it for 2 weeks. We got lives to live and things happening and not happening, but we here now. So salute to everybody that tapped in, man. Make sure you go rewatch, start from the beginning if you didn't get a chance to. Like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't liked, just hit the like button. That helps with engagement. Comment. Hey, put some hundreds in there. Well, I don't know, whatever. But appreciate y'all, man. And we out of here, man. It's a Safe Place, episode 2. It's a wrap. Do the ay.
Ay.